The two ways of the Valley of Ashes. The valley that watches, there was a land known as the Valley of Ashes, a place where the soil was dark and the wind carried whispers at twilight. The elders said the valley was a witness, silent, patient, and just. It did not speak, yet it remembered. Be not deceived, the elders taught, for what a man sows, the land will one day reveal. In this valley were born two sons of men, equal in breath, unequal in heart. One would walk the narrow way, the other would widen his steps toward destruction. Two sons, one breath. The first was named Eliab, meaning God is father. The second was named Karam, meaning strength of man. They drank from the same river and slept beneath the same stars. Yet even in youth their spirits leaned in opposite directions. When Eliab heard the cries of the weak, his heart stirred with compassion. When Karam heard the same cries, he calculated their cost. Eliab feared the Lord, though he could not yet name that fear. Karam feared only loss. Seeds of the heart. An old teacher once gathered the children and said, "A man is not ruined in a day. He is shaped in secret." Eliab learned to kneel. Karam learned to hide. Eliab confessed when he was wrong. Karam mastered the art of appearing right, and the seeds grew quietly. The fire of judgment. A fire came upon the valley like a thief in the night. Homes burned. Screams rose like incense of grief. Eliab ran toward the flames, pulling the aged and the children from destruction. His hands blistered, his breath broken. Karam stood at a distance. He watched which houses fell. He counted who would owe. And in the glow of the fire, something in his soul hardened like iron in a forge. Bread in the famine. A famine followed as judgment often does. The righteous shared their last loaf. The wicked stored grain behind locked doors. Karam sold bread at the price of suffering. And though his storehouses were full, his nights were empty. For the bread of greed never satisfies. Thrones without crowns. Years passed. Eliab owned little, yet lacked nothing. Karam owned much, yet trusted no one. Men bowed before Karam, but only because they feared him. Men rested near Eliab because their souls were safe. For there are thrones that God never placed, and they always fall. The messenger at the gate one evening, a stranger came, clothed in dust, eyes like burning lamps. To Eliab he said, "Why do you give when it costs you?" Eliab answered, "Because mercy was given to me first." To Karam he said, "Why do you take when it destroys others?" Karam replied, "Because I can." The stranger wept, and before dawn he was gone. The fall of the mighty. What was built on pride collapsed in a season. Debts rose like accusers. Friends vanished. Silver lost its voice. Karam stood alone in the ruins of his name, and for the first time he trembled, not before men, but before truth. Waters of death and mercy. The rains came without warning. The river broke its bounds. Karam was trapped in the house he once called his fortress. As the waters rose, so did his fear, and when Eliab pulled him from the flood, Karam wept as one being born again. Epilogue. Two ways set before you. Karam never returned to power, but he returned to the dust, and from the dust he learned humility. Eliab continued in quiet obedience. The valley still watches, and now the choice is set before you, life or death, pride or repentance, the wide road or the narrow way. Choose wisely, the wind whispers.